Hi there, day 82, 8 days to go. So this morning I get up and I was planning to do a bit of listening and reading as I like to do, and I get a phone call from my son Mark, who runs Link. And he says, "Dad, you're behind on your goals." And I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, you haven't learned enough links and you haven't written enough." And of course, the way we do things at Link, there are certain things that are calculated automatically, like the number of words you read, the number of links that you have created or saved. I was also behind on my listening because I haven't been recording my listening. Well, I know that I've listened at least an hour or two a day, but it doesn't get recorded because I'm listening on my MP3 player. So that's easy enough to fix. I just go into my statistics on my profile at Link. I add another 80 hours and I'm up to my goals. How much I've listened to, I don't know, but at least 80 hours. In fact, probably closer to 150 hours. I don't know, at 80 hours. So I'm up there. But moving links to learn, like I constantly add new links and I read and I listen, but I don't do a lot of going through the flashcards to move the status, because the status 1 when you first look the word up and gradually it moves up. And of course, I haven't written, and I've been hoping to avoid writing. So I tell my son I'm not going to do that, and he says, "But you have to." So okay, I got 8 days to go. So I'm going to stop my listening and reading. The first thing I did is I went to the vocabulary page at Link, and I selected, to sort my links, of which I have however many thousands, tens of thousands, sort them by important, which means by frequency. So I bring up all of the 4-star words because we star the words by frequency based on how frequently the words show up in our library. So these are the most frequent words. Most of them are either status 3 or status 4. Status 4 means learned, known. Status 3 means that I've moved them from 1 to 2 to 3. So I go through those and I know most of them. So I move them to 4. So that adds a lot of learned words. And I keep on doing it with the 4-star words. Then I went to the 3-star words, which are a little less frequent. Then I went to the 2-star words. So I got a lot done that way this morning. Then my wife insisted that we go play golf, so I went to play golf. But fortunately, her girlfriend arrived, one of her friends. So while they're off chit-chatting, I've got my iPhone and I'm going through my flashcards and I'm moving more words. These are my daily links that get sent to me, and I'm moving them to learn, the ones that I know. So, today I've moved all the words that I've moved enough to meet my goals. There's still a lot more that I could go through that I know, that I've come to know through all my reading and listening activities, that I could further increase it, but I've at least met my goal, so I'm happy there. Writing, which I've wanted to avoid, I've decided I'm going to write. So what I did is I went to the exchange at Link, and I went to this book, because it's difficult to write. I'm not entirely sure how all the little Hangul symbols get together to form a word. So to start with, I just went through the book here, and there are a bunch of pattern sentences in the book covering different grammatical patterns. And so I'm going to write them initially, and a lot of them have, you probably can't make this out, but a lot of them have both English and Korean. So I'm going to steal a page from Luca. I'm going to look at the Korean, and then I'm going to look at the English and try and recreate the Korean, cheating a little bit, at least initially. And I'm going to write these sentences up and send them in. Now, initially, if I can see the correct version here, I needn't ask for correction on our exchange at Link. But after a while, I will actually create my own sentence and ask them to be corrected. I figure I have to get up to 3,000, because I haven't written at all. I have to get up to 3,000 some sentences. That means more than 30 sentences a day. No, 3,000 words. So I wrote one sentence here. 내한테는 책을 주고 어머니한테는 겉을 들여주었다. soil. So that came out of my book. It's probably correct, unless I made a mistake. And so I'll put a bunch of these in and hopefully gradually get used to writing, and I'll write some more. And so I was going to write 20 or 30 sentences today, but then my wife said we're going to play golf, so I went. And then while golfing, I was going to come home and do it. We got a phone call from a Chinese friend saying we're all going out to Chinese dinner. So that's what I did. So I haven't written anymore. I got the one sentence. And now it's 9:45 and I'm not going to write anymore. My main goal now, the only goal that I have yet to complete, is the writing goal. So for the next, 8 days, I'm going to be writing every day. That's going to be a major activity. I won't be adding to my vocabulary. I won't be increasing my familiarity that way. I'm just going to be writing. And I will have a conversation with Clara on Tuesday, and hopefully some more before the end of the challenge. So this is it. We're down to the wire with 8 days to go. We'll see how it all works. And I wanted one other thing, just having dinner, speaking Cantonese, it was interesting. I am better in everyday banter in Cantonese than in, say, Russian. But I can discuss politics in Russian, and I have a lot of trouble discussing politics in Cantonese. So it just reminded me that in every language, the level of your skill in different areas is going to depend on what you do most often. And that's not a problem, because if I had more opportunity to discuss politics in Cantonese, I would get better. If I had more opportunity to have casual encounters in Russian, I would get better. Not a big deal, but it just means that when we say that we're B2, C1, A2, whatever it might be, in fact, it'll vary a lot depending on the opportunities that you have had. Anyway, bye for now.